Good evening, I'm Stephanie Seacos. It's Friday, February 27th. This is CTV News at 11:30. Tonight, crime concerns why a drop-in center in Bridgewater is being forced to close. Then, trade mission. New Brunswick's premier hopes to bring home business deals from India. And later, funding cuts. Why Nova Scotia's sailing ambassador might be spending more time at home.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Stephanie Seacos.
Thanks for joining us. Bruce Frisco is off tonight. A facility intended to integrate people back into society in Bridgewater is closing following a series of crime and complaints in the area. As CTV's Emma Convey reports, news of its closure comes as a relief to many in the town.
This tends to be a busy corner in downtown Bridgewater, but not for the right reasons.
We've seen businesses that have lost 50% of their sales just since the opening as customers stayed away. Increase in violence. We've had a tragic death in the river. Mayor David Mitchell puts the blame on this drop-in center run by the John Howard Society. It's been open for 24 months. I would say for at least 18 months of that, we have said something has to change. Our messaging has been consistent. Whatever is happening there is not working. By their own admission, staff told us that they were not trained or equipped to deal with the clients they were seeing. Like theft, fights, and drunkenness. Locals are staying away.
We went from locking up, 75 to 90 patrons a year to upwards of high 300s. That's a significant increase in a town this size.
Leaving closure the only option. CTV News reached out to Cedar Place and was directed to the province, which made the choice to close the drop-in center March 27th.
John Howard Society will continue to provide that supportive housing that's located at Cedar Place. They will also continue to provide outreach supports in different parts of the community, and we'll continue to work with them in that.
A decision that will take the pressure off Bridgewater Police as well. They say their officers respond to calls there daily.
We're responding again to calls down there, but we're responding to 3 or 4 shoplifters a day. And then you get into some addiction support and mental health calls on top of it, and it's putting a strain on everybody.
The province will continue to work with the town and Cedar Place operators on what this new service delivery will look like. These details will be released soon. Emma Convey, CTV News, Bridgewater.
2 of the youths arrested for sexual assault in connection with a hockey hazing investigation in Nova Scotia's Colchester County will not be charged. Police arrested 4 youths in connection with the investigation, which involves members of a boys hockey team in the Truro area. RCMP say after reviewing the evidence, they believe it did not meet the criminal threshold to lay charges against 2 of the youths. The 2 others were formally charged earlier this week with sexual assault and sexual assault with a weapon, described in court documents as a mini hockey stick. Police do not expect to make additional arrests at this time, but say there may be other victims. The jury in the Jansen Baker double homicide trial remains sequestered as it works toward a verdict. While it is away from the public, CTV News can report what the jury did not hear. CTV's Derek Haggett has the details.
A witness for the defense testified last week that Zachary Trevors confessed to killing Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. Trevors, Baker, and Nathan Wojcicki were all childhood friends and living together at the time of the murders. Wojcicki testified, without the jury present, that Trevors admitted to killing old people. Wojcicki said Trevors was intoxicated at the time of his confession, which was several weeks after the murders. Justice Cameron Gunn ruled Wojcicki's statements were hearsay, and the jury never heard the alleged confession. Jansen Baker has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of the Sauniers, who were shot in their Dieppe home on September 7, 2019. When on the stand last month, Trevors testified that Baker was responsible for the murders, and he denied killing the elderly couple. Trevors was arrested for the Sauniers murders in 2022, but was never charged. Court also didn't hear about Baker being sentenced to 10 years in prison for shooting a teacher outside Riverview High School in 2021. Yesterday, Gunn instructed the jury to not take into account the fact that the accused has been arrested for offenses in the past, saying that it is irrelevant to their decision-making process. The jury in the Jansen Baker double murder trial requested audio recordings of testimony of 3 Crown witnesses be replayed. Justice Cameron Gunn granted that request, and hours of testimony were played back in court today. Court once again heard the testimony of Travers and 2 others. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
The investigation into the death of a worker at a Walmart bakery in Halifax a year and a half ago that made international headlines has found there were no safety violations. The Nova Scotia government investigation was sparked by the death of a 19-year-old woman whose body was found in a walk-in bakery oven in October of 2024. The Labor Department says its investigation found the machine was in good working order, in addition to there being no safety violations or any broader concerns with that particular model of oven. The Maritimes Sikh Society previously identified the woman who died as Gursimran Kaur, who had immigrated to Canada with her mother from India. New Brunswick's premier is in India. Susan Holt is part of a Canadian trade mission aimed to drum up new deals and new markets. CTV's Nick Moore reports.
New numbers out today predict India's economy will grow by 7.6% this fiscal year, once again making it the fastest growing major economy in the world.
And they need what New Brunswick has, which is minerals, energy products, food, as well as human capacity.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt is on a 4-day trade mission to India alongside Prime Minister Mark Carney. Holt says she's hoping to strike new deals to export more goods.
The Port of St. John can get a container from St. John to India in 15 days. So it's not a problem for us to move the goods that we produce and some of the products to one of the largest and fastest growing economies in the world.
New Brunswick exported about $190 million in goods and services to India in 2024. University of New Brunswick economics chair Constantine Pasiris says there's more economic opportunities to be found in India, especially when it comes to the minerals needed to manufacture a smartphone.
We have those critical minerals that all developed countries absolutely need in this age of digitalization, the kind of products that the digital economy requires.
Neither Premier Holt nor Premier Moe will travel with Prime Minister Carney as the trade mission continues on to Australia and Japan. Nick Moore, CTV News, Fredericton.
Get the Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
There was a big court win today for unions in Nova Scotia. 10 years ago, the Liberal government of Nova Scotia under Stephen McNeil passed Bill 148, which imposed a 2-year wage freeze on public servants and removed the Public Service Award from their collective agreement. A number of unions joined forces and took the matter to court. Today, the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia ruled the government violated the rights of public sector workers by taking away their ability to bargain.
This is groundbreaking today as a victory because the justice has ruled in our favor, citing that in fact it did affect bargaining rights. And so not only is it unconstitutional, but that we need to seek remedy.
Premier Tim Houston promised to repeal Bill 148, something he did not do. The court has given the province 1 year to come to some type of agreement with the unions, as well as pay the court fees for the proceedings. The province can still appeal the decision. Still to come tonight, we'll have your full maritime weather forecast with a look at how the weekend is shaping up. But next, crowded streets.
And we do our work, and it's very difficult to get done, so we're getting complaints from our customers.
The challenges snowbanks are causing drivers and how the parking situation is impacting businesses. That's after the break.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. This is it. No more passwords, but we do have 2 more trips to give away to Beaches, Turks, and Caicos.
Monday and Tuesday, if your phone is ringing at 7 a.m., make sure you pick it up. You could win.
Halifax's busy Quinpool Road will be closed for a couple of nights next week so the city can remove snow. Driving around the city lately is an exercise in patience. Snow and ice buildup are making it tough for drivers and slowing down essential services. Here's CTV's Hafsa Arif.
Halifax is an old city, built with narrow roads and one-way streets. Now add towering snowbanks and street parking into the mix, simply driving down the block can feel like an obstacle course, especially for larger vehicles.
We have large 3-ton trucks with 16-foot boxes, so there's cars parked on the side and then there's snowbanks on the other side. So if we want to back in, we don't have enough clearance to pull in and back our trucks in.
More recently, it's forced Mike Fadul and his team to leave some jobs incomplete.
We're an essential service and we can do our work. And it's very difficult to get done, so we're getting complaints from our customers.
He's calling for a daytime parking ban, similar to what the city enforced overnight, and for vehicles to be limited to one side of the street. Officials acknowledge that weeks of snow and extreme weather have squeezed road space across the city.
From Halifax Regional Fire and Emergency, they are seeing some challenges. So they are monitoring any problem areas and they are taking alternate routes when they have to.
As a result, the city has been scaling back and canceling some services. Officials say emergency vehicles are facing similar challenges.
We've seen a lot of snow this winter, and we've also seen those really cold temperatures. So we've seen a lot of snow accumulation build up over the last couple of weeks, and that has led to some narrower streets.
But there's only so many times Fadul can call off a job.
There are times that my staff will park their truck in the middle of the street and lug the extra waste out.
But for now, it's the only option, especially after a few fender benders he's had to cover himself.
We're trying to squeeze through, and then we hit a tail light. And we're repairing it.
Over the next week, officials are planning road closures around the city for snow removal. But until then, navigating Halifax's streets may continue to take more time and understanding from everyone behind the wheel. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
Nova Scotia is eager to get natural gas flowing again. The province is funding Dalhousie University millions of dollars to kickstart research and development. But as CTV's Jesse Thomas reports, for production to start, corporate involvement is crucial.
Nova Scotia's government has given Dalhousie University $30 million to spur exploration and development of onshore natural gas. The province says there's 200 years worth of recoverable natural gas in certain areas of the province.
We haven't really seen any of this since 2013, so we've been doing our work to catch up and to modernize our system and our regulations so that we're not starting from scratch.
Dalhousie's being paid $5.7 million to administer the Subsurface Energy Research and Development Investment Program. They're now putting out calls for bids from industry who want to tap in and explore for or develop natural gas or do both.
We've had conversations, very preliminary conversations with natural gas producers, and this is an opportunity for them to put their hands up, let us know they're interested, and begin in the summer to start to explore in the basins that we have.
Last year, the Houston government lifted a moratorium placed on onshore natural gas drilling or fracking that had been in place since 2014. Most of natural gas used for energy here is imported and shipped up from the U.S. The Nova Scotia government says energy sovereignty is part of the move to develop natural gas here, but to also make energy more affordable and spur the economy.
Anytime you are able to control your own energy, you are able to offer people much more affordable cost structures.
The province is facing a $1.2 billion deficit and believe natural gas and wind energy development will be critical to get the province's fiscal situation in order.
For our economy, it would mean jobs, but it would also mean energy sovereignty. And in this day and age, that counts for a lot.
The deadline for proposals is April 15th. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Time for a quick break. When we return, we'll have your full maritime weather forecast. But first, it was a calm and quiet evening in Halifax, though it will be a cold night. Coming up, Kaylin will tell us about a warm-up followed by a quick cool down. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell joins us now with your maritime weather forecast. And how's that weekend shaping up?
Well, I guess somewhat appropriately, considering we're moving towards the end of February, or we're at the end of February. Temperatures are going to be a little bit colder tonight and for the start of the weekend. By the start of the weekend, I mean Saturday morning. But then, as we move through the weekend, we get onto a little bit of a temperature roller coaster in that the temperatures turn milder later in the day on Saturday and a gusty south wind, then colder again by the end of the weekend. Now, for tonight, we're looking at very clear conditions for most of the Maritimes because of a ridge of high pressure that's in place over us. A little bit increasing cloudiness in western areas of New Brunswick. So not a lot to show you here in our timeline as we head towards the start of the day on Saturday. I would expect a mostly sunny start to Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, more of a mix of sun and cloud for New Brunswick. And if you're up in the north and northwest of New Brunswick, say in the area stretching from around Perth Andover through Edmundston up towards Campbellton Dalhousie, moving through Saturday afternoon, there's expected to be a mixture of some flurries and showers arriving. There'll be a further chance of flurries for New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island as we move through Saturday night. And then on Sunday, there'll be a few more flurries to move through parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia along a cold front that's crossing the region. And as we get behind that cold front, that's when temperatures are going to fall again, especially as we move into Sunday night and the start of next week. Now, winds, of course, the wind direction plays an important role in this. For tomorrow, the winds become southerly. And you can see they pick up in the afternoon. It's going to be a blustery day. Some of the gusts coming up between 30 and 50 kilometers per hour. But that south direction of those winds is also going to push our temperatures up in the afternoon. Tonight around the region, though, on the colder side, most lows falling several degrees below the freezing mark or down into the minus teens. So again, cold start to the day for tomorrow. High temperatures in the afternoon, though, for northern areas of New Brunswick, up between 2 and 5 degrees. Remember, though, in the afternoon, a few flurries and showers arriving. Down through central and southern areas of New Brunswick, pretty nice day. Mix of sun and cloud, blustery, with highs between 3 and 5 degrees. On the gusty side as well for Prince Edward Island, and high temperatures for the province coming up between 0 and 2 degrees. A little bit cooler in Cape Breton for tomorrow, with the high temperatures between -1 and +1. Low single digits expected for both the eastern shore and north shore of Nova Scotia. In Cumberland, Colchester, and Hants counties for tomorrow, most of the high temperatures 2 to 4 degrees. In Halifax County, mostly around 4. Near 2 for Lunenburg for tomorrow, 4 at Bridgewater, 3 at Shelburne, and 4 at Yarmouth. The Annapolis Valley with highs near 4 degrees, and 5 at Digby. Taking a look at the extended forecast for New Brunswick on Sunday, temperatures getting colder as we get in behind that weather front. And then very cold Sunday night into Monday. Temperatures start to moderate a little bit into Tuesday of Wednesday of next week, though there's snow in the forecast right now for Wednesday. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, and then a chance of flurries at the end of next week on Friday, and temperatures a little bit chilly. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, coming up on Sunday, mixture of flurries and showers as that cold front moves through. It gets colder Sunday night into Monday morning. Monday itself, very cold for March 2nd. And then it's sunny and chilly on Tuesday with a mixture of snow and rain in the forecast for Wednesday. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, and then flurries expected next Friday. For Prince Edward Island, for the forecast for Sunday, it's flurries. High temperatures around -2, but much colder on Monday with highs around -10. It's up to around -4 on Tuesday, then +2 on Wednesday, but with a mixture of snow and rain. Mix of sun and cloud on Thursday of next week, and flurries in the forecast for Friday. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. We'll take a short break now. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Nova Scotia's sailing ambassador might be spending a lot more time at home after a provincial grant to Bluenose II was reduced. As CTV's Callum Smith reports, the famed ship might not be able to visit other Canadian ports.
The original Bluenose was launched as a fishing vessel. It found its fame as a racing schooner. Its second incarnation was and is intended to be a calling card for Nova Scotia, its sailing ambassador.
She's the single most famous schooner in the entire world.
Daniel Moreland is captain of Lunenburg's other icon, the Picton Castle. He's stunned that Bluenose's lone source of government funding is being cut back.
I don't know where you'd cut. They're just going to have to earn more money. It's like cutting your ambassadors all over the world.
The mayor of Lunenburg knows budgets are difficult and cuts are even harder.
The $1.2 billion deficit is scary, and I think that healthcare should be our #1 priority, followed by education and roads. Those are your 3 top priorities in the province, so I get it.
But he argues Bluenose II is vitally important for the town and province's tourism.
The Bluenose, for example, had 60,000 people on its decks this past summer. The majority of visitors that the crew talked to and the staff talked to say they arranged their entire trip to Nova Scotia around their cruise on the Bluenose II.
The Bluenose was receiving nearly $1.2 million for operating expenses and crew salaries, but that's been cut by 20% or almost $240,000. Local Martha Ketty questions the province's spending priorities.
Cutting the HST by 1% means absolutely nothing to us. It means a lot to the coffers of the province. Taking the tolls off the bridges was kind of stupid.
The director of operations for the Bluenose II tells me the cut will have an impact, but she declined an interview saying staff are still working through what it will mean. While Bluenose II will sail this season, where and when remains to be seen. Callum Smith, CTV News, Lunenburg, Nova Scotia.
Time now for one last break. Still to come, your wake-up weather for Saturday. But first, we're going to stay in Lunenburg right now, where it is -8 chilly out there tonight. Kaylin will be back to break down the morning forecast when we come back. Stay with us.
News doesn't wait, and neither should you. At home, at work, and on the go, stay connected with a team you can trust, anytime, anywhere. CTV Atlantic and ctvatlantic.ca. Watch live on Crave.
Welcome back. Let's see how your Saturday is shaping up. Kaylin is back now with your wake-up weather. And how is that last day of February looking?
Yeah, well, certainly if you're headed out early in the morning hours, you're going to still want to dress warm because temperatures first thing in the morning, they're going to be on the colder side, at least several degrees below the freezing mark, some down into the minus teens. The afternoon, there's a couple things you're going to notice. First of all, it's going to be gusty. There's going to be a south wind for tomorrow with some gusts between 30 and 50 kilometers per hour. The other thing you might notice, though, is that from that cold start in the morning, temperatures, they're a little bit milder in the afternoon. In a lot of cases, high temperatures tomorrow in the Maritimes coming up towards the low to mid single digits. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. Finally for us tonight, the weather was just right for a night of freestyle skiing and snowboarding in Halifax. The Dalhousie Ski and Snowboard Club partnered up with the Maritime Jibbers for an urban rail jam at Gorsebrook Park. Rail jams are competitions where contestants perform tricks on park features for judges. The goal of tonight's event goes beyond the competition.
We started the club this year, and it's been a really amazing turnout so far to all our different events. What we've noticed is that people just really want to get engaged. They want to come out and kind of dissipate the winter blues. So it's been a really great opportunity to really make it a more inclusive environment and just ensure that the community is just kind of out there and having fun.
The club hopes to make this urban rail jam an annual event. And that will do it for us tonight. A reminder, if you joined us late or would like another look at any of our stories, you can always visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's your home for news. We'll leave you now with the names of everyone here who make our broadcast possible. Thanks for watching tonight and have a great weekend.